Hi, welcome to Culturally Sarawak, a show where we will be discovering the variety of aspects of culture that we have here in Sarawak. My name is Lofrine, and I'm a big fan of culture, and I would love to learn as many as I can about the culture that we have here in Sarawak. And in the previous 7 episodes, we have explored some variety of musical instruments that we have here in Sarawak, our beautiful state of Sarawak. We had the tapi, the belikan, the taboh, gendang pampat, and many more. I hope it has been enjoyable and at the same time educating experience for our viewers out there. I know I've learned so much in the span of 7 episodes. So to start off the episode, we don't have a musical instrument, but we have an art that a lot of people are not familiar with, even among the younger generations of Ibans. For this episode, we will be taking a look at one of the many genres in the Iban oral literature. We have invited a special guest to talk to us about Pantun Iban. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Madam Lin Asit right here on the set of Culturally Sarawak. Hi, Madam.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine today.
That's good. The journey here is quite quite long.
Quite long, correct.
Yeah. Where do you stay?
So I'm staying at Desa Ilmu, Kota Semarahan.
I see. I live somewhere in between. So yeah. For our viewers out there, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, hi everyone. Good morning. First and foremost, I would like to thank Culturally Sarawak for inviting me and give me an honor to be here to present today's Pantun, to talk about the topic, this Pantun.
So first and foremost, what is Pantun in the Iban community?
Generally, Pantun is one of the oral art traditional Iban poetry. This Pantun basically performed in not all area in Sarawak. It is performed and played by Iban community, especially in Kapit area, or so-called as Batang Rajang.
So, how is it different from in Bahasa Pantun? In Bahasa, we already have a mindset of how Pantun sounds like. It's a 4-verse thing. But how is it different, Pantun in Iban?
So, Iban Pantun, the resource of Iban Pantun is the nature of the environment. So if Bahasa Malaysia Pantun is based on certain themes, and it must be the same rhyme. So as Pantun also is just that Iban Pantun is a story. It's story. Long time ago, Pantun basically used to express Iban folks in the longhouse to express their feelings, especially feelings toward one another during a certain occasion like Gawai Daya, to express their feeling toward one another, like Pantun Sayau, Pantun Keran, Pantun Bataban Lari, and Pantun praising the heroes of the community or the warriors.
I see. So, why are you drawn towards the Pantun instead of other form of Iban literature?
Okay, actually I am from Kapit, Sarawak. I'm an Iban girl. Come from a longhouse, a Picker longhouse. Actually, my great father, my parents, and my father is a shaman or lembambang. So I inherit and sustain this beautiful Pantun until now. So I feel very grateful and thank to God for giving me the little bit of talent and to sustain and to preserve this beauty of Pantun.
I see, and I agree as well. So, why are you drawn towards the Pantun instead of other form of Iban literature?
Because I thought it is my responsibility as an Iban to maintain, to preserve, and to sustain the Pantun. Because for me, Pantun is one of the identity, and it is a pride to me. As an Iban, it is my responsibility. to uphold this Pantun, especially to expose this Pantun to the young generation, which is not really keen and appreciate Pantun.
I also feel the same way because I play the Blikan and I feel like it's my responsibility as well to show what we have, our culture, not just to the Iban community, but also to spread awareness outside of our community as well.
Yes.
Why Iban? Why did you choose Iban instead of English or Bahasa?
All right. For me, it's very simple. My philosophy is very simple. It not me as an Iban, who else? So, as I mentioned earlier, it is my responsibility to inherit my ancient father, generation to generations, to uphold and to sustain this beautiful Iban poetry, traditional poetry.
And I've asked the whole sentiment about if it's not me, then who else? Mr. Rining Peter also in the previous episode actually said the same thing. If it's not us, who else is going to do it? So is there a difference on how the Pantun Iban is performed today compared to previously?
All right, times goes on. Of course, there are a difference or the difference between traditional Pantun and contemporary Pantun. Traditional Pantun, the themes, as I mentioned earlier, is more focused on natural environment. And of course, the focus of the theme is smaller. They only perform Pantun during Gawai Dayak, which is once a year, or other Gawai celebration. Besides that, they are not doing Pantun at a longhouse. But now, the Pantun theme now is wider, and the focus also, the theme and the focus also wider. For instance, now contemporary Pantun, like I myself, I used to perform Pantun according to the certain occasion like Gawai Dayak. I used to perform Pantun to the public figures like YBs, no doubt Iban and other races, Chinese and Malay as well. So my theme of my Pantun normally based on this our present development, social, economic, and even praising and motivating Pantun to the public figures.
That's very interesting, and I am very, very keen on knowing more about this. But before we do, we'll be taking a short commercial break. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Culturally Sarawak with me, Lofrine, and the wonderful Madam Lin Asit. So, Madam, can Pantun Iban be integrated with modern music?
Oh yes, my personal point of view, of course, if we would like to see Pantun to be sustained and preserved until forever and ever, so we need to look at Pantun as something that is dynamic. We cannot stick to the old method, we cannot stick to the old pattern, but we need to adapt it to the modern world, especially nowadays got art, modern entertainment art and so on.
Yeah, we have so many types of arts and things that can be consumed nowadays, not just in our country, but also outside of our country as well.
I agree, yeah.
So, do you write your own tunes or Pantun? And if so, what inspires your process?
Okay, yes, I do write my own Pantun. So far, I have calculated my personal collection. I think it's more about 20 plus Pantun.
Wow.
And I have performed Pantun in a Gawai Dayak function for more about, I could say that almost every YBs in Sarawak, 90% YB of Sarawak has, I have given them Pantun during the Gawai Dayak celebration.
I see. So
okay, just now you said, you asked me who inspired me.
Yeah.
So the first one is, of course, my own parents, my own siblings, and my father, because I learned a lot from my father. because my father also still energetic now, and he is still around. He's staying at Cebu. During school holiday, I go back to Cebu and I take the opportunity to learn as much as I can. Not only Pantun, but all the Iban culture, arts, and oral literature.
Wow.
So it really inspired me, and he is one of my reference.
I see.
I think that's all.
Yeah, there are so many, and I'm really glad that you can learn not just Pantun, but also different oral literature in our community. So, how long would the process be for you to write?
Okay, Pantun only can be composed or only can be written if I have the idea. This idea comes normally at a quiet time, especially early in the morning. Like the one that I perform, I composed it about 1 o'clock this morning.
This morning?
It takes about half an hour for me to compose. The Pantun that can be performed within 6 to 7 minutes. This Pantun, if we have the basic knowledge about compose the Pantun, I think it's no problem. Just that all the Pantun are the same, like praising, motivational Pantun, or about we use the analogy to praise somebody. We can use, for example, the nature of the environment, like flora and fauna, even birds, mountains, all the animals, and so on and so forth. If we alert about that, all this about the poet, well-known poet like Burai, Sindon, Nong, on those, it is more or less. It is more or less. Just that it's up to our creativity to make the melody more symbolic and use the analogy of the nature to compose a Pantun.
That's really beautiful.
Right.
And do you have any particular style of performing the Pantun Iban? Because Pantun Iban, it sounds like you are singing, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, do you have any particular style when you perform the Pantun Iban?
Yet again, Pantun Iban is basically, if you want to perform the Pantun Iban, it depends on the theme that you want to perform. Say, for example, if you perform Pantun, motivating Pantun, you need to be more motivate. But it is Pantun like the express the feeling of love. It need to be slow downs. Yeah. It depends on the theme.
I see.
So the melodies, of course, there are a lot of melodies. Like all these poet like Burai, as I mentioned earlier on. In Nong, they have the different styles of delivery the Pantun. I can deliver the Pantun using a few of these kind of melody.
I see. And we'll be taking another short break, but I would love to discover more with you about the Pantun Iban. But do come back with us because we have a special performance by Madam Lin Asit. So don't go anywhere, and we'll see you after the break. Welcome back to Culturally Sarawak with me, Lofrine, and Madam Lin Asit. So before we go to your performance, I have one last question to ask you. And your hope, do you have any words of wisdom you'd like to give to our audience out there?
Okay, thank you again, Miss Lofrine. Okay, I do hope that especially the young generations so that they keen and appreciate the Pantun, and young generations who have the initiative and effort to learn Pantun. There are varieties of resources like we have reading materials like book Pantun. We have social media like YouTube, and even can personally contact me to teach about Pantun, and I can give you an advice and consultation as well. And also, I do hope that the parents and our community, so that we have a collective responsibility to make sure this Pantun can be sustained and preserved. And of course, I do need support. We do need support from the concerned authority like Sarawak cultural bodies or non-government agencies. So far, I have collaborated with quite a number of bodies like Asadia, YFM, SDNU, and I do hope SIDS also do the same thing.
Okay. Oh, thank you, madam. That was really eye-opening, and that's it for our show today. Follow us at TVS TV on Instagram and me at Lofrine, that's Lofrine, if you want to showcase your talent in traditional musical instrument or any kinds of art form. So that's it for this show. Thank you for watching Culturally Sarawak, and see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Melan hasaya melan nadai nak ngemadasnya penerbainya si amai anak tak buruang unan banget dua iko tiga sekaban ngiga pucuk parawan kayo tekam nuara batan sangnya sawak lunang ngaga sarang lapa badiri aku ninga dasi tengah nyadi duduk rarmi aku nak nyamai betati kadirempu banget nampiat ngau kita mane di penai mangkile diwan rene bayang aradai aku nganati kadirempu banget nampiat ngau ramane di penai mangkulu tisi termu juara batu puan babae Selabua tu barempam ku ngaurang mata gentran mata wagan sae ngempuang sambuang jalawa jarai dia palo kami uraino dia gerugo batu kacanai tencang aku ngaurang kang numa siapa mesai duan tu barempam aku setengah jam baru kaki aku bekenyi nyingkang bajalai mata gaginau tu buah pipau aku ninga del mau yang kini yang utai bedao ke dalam aku berkira berpikir aku tesat dalam aku akapat aku kan nganati kadirempu banget na teparai kainai ngakita lunang kuloang manang dia ada nyeliang nyengau gatu buah pipau aku subah lengau kepala rantau tepedak ke buah sibau nge kita orang laki ke kepalian mansau satangkai tangkai kaku nyebuat dia rempun bangnya dia tolunang aku nadai kabang beliwang makai kaku nyebuat dia nyulua tang aku nyebuat dia nyulua tebangan nak para datai jengkau rapas wajapai gablawa kami urino sebelahnya ngiga buah kararah wa dempak tupai kasih ahdu matu buah lempuang aku kendang rangayuang tua besai ku sigena temu kaumang nge kita wae orang laki dempak abah ruang entah tu buaruri kita orang laki badok nak senang hati kita bakal babi tariang nyadi ngeluang nyimpai penekak tu buar rempam kita sidan ngesan belayan belakang atatai nyungkua dulu ayu sarada sungai entah bakal kami urai no tau ajiah nyao maku ngajiah kaderempu nyadi udua aku penama aku lain ngame ada nyala babing kita si teriang nyadi ngeloang hanyimpai gak salah kami warino banget teka nyerada lebak ngulu sungai sadang aku ngenan kita sidan dimbran puan tekam bandia ngelampai ayah minai gak babing kita si tariang nyadi siko nada peduli ke kami orang ino sekale-kale nyau kapu-kapu ngulu sarada sungai Bedalga tubuh rempam aku berkira pikir aku kapat runiang aku ada tesat menati kaderempu banget nak empiat ngau kita makai kerigai nak buyak tulangnya tunggu belakang. Nge kita orang laki babi apa hanginang. Antai kami uraino nemu dirai ngenyai tasubak mula aku bulah na barada tanggainya kamai. Terubah kami uraino teberusuat ari peruat karuang panganuat teblengka ari butuat buntuat mutiang karigai age miat empainya besai. Singian aku kaminta karipiat inai ku ngau kalkiat tamiat ngau pemansai engkah di tanah kampuang sabrai datai dian minta gitang karuang penimang aku depucua tapang kayo nyamikai. Awak kari buat ada lengkas mupuat kami uraino awak baku sae jan lengkas nalian labuah kebrai awak kelempang tubuh besai maya kita ngangau lawai awak kakuna datai ngau kita angabang Ujimpa mengaku tolagai akak sidinam ram tuai bajingai topa ma menitiah kalagu kurang mansang baru ngamek kena kita dudua barimai kasih ba tentang kita wae sawa lunang duduk haba tentang